Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Mariano Rivera couldn't do it. Neither could Derek Jeter. Now, it is CC Sabathia's chance to walk away from the game with the World Series trophy in his hands. After signing his one-year, $8 million deal with the Yankees, Sabathia proclaimed that he would be retiring at season's end. The ultimate goal for Sabathia has always been a title, and the core of this Yankees squad has provided the 38-year-old enough for one last shot. Sabathia is far removed from the hurler that can carry a club on his back, having last thrown 200-plus innings in 2013. However, as fragile as Sabathia's right knee is, he's been able to make no fewer than 27 starts in each of the last 4 seasons. More importantly to the Yankees, Sabathia has been more than a placeholder at the back end of the rotation in recent seasons. That said, this final season is a marriage in which each side has expectations of the other. Sabathia, a title. And Yankees, a veteran leader ready and willing to leave it all, whatever all might be for a 19-year veteran, out there in his final season. As Sabathia fought injury and alcohol addiction, he set out to reinvent his pitching style. The transformation from hard-throwing dominance to wily, gritty pitcher is not as easy as one might think, and it took Sabathia time to figure out this was the route to take to extend his career, and then plenty of patience to complete the task. The Yankees did not re-sign Sabathia to be a cheerleader. The fact the Southpaw will be the backbone of the clubhouse atmosphere for the pitching staff is undeniable, but the Yankees fully expect Sabathia to contribute on the field. The club absolutely needs Sabathia. New York's rotation appears to be an above-average group when taken as a whole, possessing potential domination in some hurlers and some upside across the board, but the true issue with the rotation is what comes after the front 5. The answer: no assurances. This makes Sabathia's ability to stay on the field all the more important to the Yankees. More than taking the ball for his scheduled starts, Sabathia must minimally navigate the opposition's lineup twice through, where anything 6 innings or beyond shall be considered a bonus. For as much talent as the Yankees might have in their rotation, pitching deep into games is not among their collective forte, thus creating an innate stress on the bullpen. Consequently, Sabathia's 5-and-fly efforts will have to be the bare minimum, knowing that others in the rotation are unlikely to pick up the slack to alleviate bullpen work. Performance-wise, Sabathia has virtually perfected producing soft contact, which has allowed him to be a more than competent starting pitcher. That said, his place on the roster seems more about aiding the club in the regular season by providing quality innings at the back end than it does as an option should the club make the postseason. Realistically, it's essential for the Yankees to have Luis Severino and James Paxton heading a playoff rotation with one of J.A. Happ or Masahiro Tanaka ready to be the third man. This isn't to say that Sabathia couldn't aid the club as a starter in a postseason series, knowing the bullpen would be the key at that stage of the season, but the Yankees' expectations likely do not align with Sabathia on the hill to start a World Series game. And this is where the discussion turns to what the Yankees, front office, coaches and teammates alike, can give to Sabathia. Another ring. There's no doubt Sabathia remains ultra-competitive and wants to contribute, but it also seems as though he realizes that he's become part of the support mechanism while the rest of the group is required to carry the load. The change in Sabathia's overall mindset began when he finally understood his pitching repertoire necessitated a transformation. Once he accepted his role and how to best attain his peak performance, his contribution was once again sufficient, maybe even surpassing assumptions. So, like any marriage, each side relies on the other. The Yankees will not succeed without Sabathia producing similar results to his 2017 and 2018 measures. In turn, Sabathia will not realize the full benefit of his final season, a championship, if the rest of the club cannot do its part. Related, Sabathia discusses recovery from heart procedure greater than read more. Related, Yankees will pay Sabathia bonus despite missing incentive greater than read more. Carelli, Severino isn't an ace in 2019, it will reverberate greater than read more. September 27, 2018, Street. Petersburg, FL, USA, New York Yankees third baseman Neil Walker, 14, looks on during the first inning at Tropicana Field. Mandatory credit, Kim Clement. USA Today Sports, Kim Clement, Anthony McCarron, SNY.TV, Twitter, there are stars, bargains, and talent that's in between still remaining on baseball's free agent market, even though it sometimes seems the pilot light has gone out on the hot stove season. But does waiting too long to sign with a team negatively impact the kind of season a player figures to have? Neil Walker thinks so and has the worst month and a half of my entire career last year to offer as evidence. Walker signed with the Yankees on March 12 and had a lousy start to a subpar season, with his lack of a proper spring training at least partly to blame, the veteran says. Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, the centennial of Jackie Robinson's birth presents the opportunity to honor one of the 20th century's great civil rights pioneers, and celebrate baseball's long-ago role in that struggle. But it should also be an occasion to remember Robinson for what he really was, a thoughtful, nuanced and righteously angry public figure whose ideas were sharp enough that they would still be highly controversial today, if people took the time to consider them. One of the great aspects of Robinson's true legacy is that if he were active now in public life, he would be as controversial as Colin Kaepernick, whose football career ended because he took a knee during the anthem. And please don't waste our time by saying that his blackballing happened for any other reason. John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, last year there was a relatively simple answer to the question of why baseball's free agent market was frozen. Wait till next year. Only here it is, next year, and two of the most desirable free agents to ever hit the market, Bryce Harper and Manny Machado at age 26, are among the 100-plus major leaguers still unsigned as spring training approaches, so now it's clear the climate officially has changed in the way teams are doing business. The Yankees have been in pursuit of free agent 3B Manny Machado, who is reportedly looking for a deal that will pay him roughly $300 million over 10 years. Here are the latest rumors. Jan. 30, 5:52 p.m. Even though there are several teams interested in Machado with nearly 2 weeks to go before pitchers and catchers report to spring training, a decision is not considered imminent, according to Fox Sports' John Morosi, and he has not yet met with Padres officials. Chicago White Sox pitcher Danny Farquhar reacts after throwing out a ceremonial first pitch after suffering a brain hemorrhage prior to a game between the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers at Guaranteed Rate Field. Patrick Gorski, USA Today Sports, veteran relief pitcher Danny Farquhar vowed to return to the baseball diamond from a life-threatening brain hemorrhage and ruptured aneurysm he suffered last year. And there's a 4-game window in June he's eyeing. Farquhar, who hasn't pitched since last April when he suffered a season-ending brain hemorrhage, signed a minor league deal with the Yankees earlier this month with an invite to spring training. New York Yankees outfielder Esteban Florial during the Arizona Fall League All-Star Game at Surprise Stadium, Mark J. Rebels, USA Today Sports, in ranking the top 100 prospects in baseball, ESPN's Keith Law believes the Yankees' top prospect isn't outfielder Esteban Florial. Law only had one Yankee in his top prospects list, RHP Davy Garcia, while Florial and outfielder Everson Pereira made Law's, who just missed the top 10, list. Luis Severino, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Every baseball club with realistic postseason aspirations requires an anchor for the starting rotation. The proverbial ace World Series championship caliber teams are led by a stalwart, ever-dependent hurler that dominates more often than not or digs deep and wins when his stuff is not at its best. This pitcher exudes a bulldog mentality, provides 30-plus regular season starts, and once games reach playoff intensity there isn't a hint of concern from his club when he's on the mound. The Yankees believe they have groomed this type of pitcher in soon-to-be 25-year-old right-hander Luis Severino. But if he isn't what they're hoping for, they could be in serious trouble this season. Yankees RHP Jonathan Loaisiga, Adam Hunger, USA Today Sports. The Yankees had two players named to the new Baseball Prospectus Top 101 Prospects list, and the same players were their only two representatives on MLB Pipeline's new Top 100 Prospects list. Esteban Florial, no. 57, and RHP Jonathan Loaisiga, no. 66, made the cut for the Yanks. Florial was no. 66 on the Baseball Prospectus list, while Florial was no. 66. Former Yankees prospect Justice Sheffield, who was dealt to the Mariners in the trade for IHP James Paxton, came in at no. 43 on MLB Pipeline's list. September 28, 2018, Denver, Colorado, USA. Colorado Rockies relief pitcher Adam Ottavino, 0, delivers a pitch in the 8th inning against the Washington Nationals at Coors Field. Mandatory credit, Russell Lansford. USA Today Sports. Russell Lansford. Before joining the Yankees, veteran bullpen arm Adam Ottavino made a very bold claim about one of their most celebrated players, not just in franchise history, but in the history of the game. Ottavino said he would strike out Babe Ruth every time, on MLB's StatCast podcast, and it made headlines pretty quickly. Well, Ottavino thought it smart to walk back those comments a tad during his first conference call with New York media on Friday afternoon. According to The Athletic's Lindsay Adler, Ottavino admitted that while explaining the evolution of baseball, he could have chose a better example than the great Bambino. New York Yankees former pitchers Mike Mussina and Mariano Rivera put on jerseys at a press conference after being elected into the Hall of Fame. Danielle Parr-Hiskaren/NorthJersey.com via USA Today Network. Since Mike Mussina was elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, he's had one burning question facing him: Yankees or Orioles cap? Well, a decision has been made. Yankees signed with Adam Ottavino. 0 hours 0 minutes and 39 seconds. SNY Baseball insider Andy Martino likes the Yankees signing of Adam Ottavino. Here's how he thinks it will impact their AL East chances. The Yankees have signed free agent reliever Adam Ottavino to a 3-year contract through the 2021 season, the team announced on Thursday. The deal was reported to be worth $27 million. Ottavino will wear no. 0 for the Yankees, becoming the first player in franchise history to sport the uniform number. After the official signing, the Yankees' 40-man roster is now at 40 players. Ottavino, 33, is coming off a huge season where he had a 2.43 ERA, 2.74 FIP, and 112 strikeouts in 77.2 innings, or a 13K/9 ratio, and did it while pitching his home games hitter-friendly Coors Field with the Rockies. His 0.99 WHIP in 2018 was much improved from a 1.63 WHIP with a 5.06 ERA in 2017. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred gestures while speaking during a Major League Baseball owners meeting on Tuesday, February 20, 2018 in Glendale, Arizona. AP photo, Ben Margo, AP. Major League Baseball is proposing new rule changes. According to Ronald Bloom of the Associated Press, the league wants to return to a 15-day disabled list and increase the time option players must spend in the minor leagues. The purpose of these changes would be to reduce the use of relief pitchers and revive offense. Mariano Rivera pitched a scoreless 9th inning. AP. Re-enter Sandman. Mariano Rivera, elected unanimously to the Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, plans to be involved with the Yankees again in 2019. In an interview with MLB Network Radio's C.J. Nitkowski on Thursday, the former Yankees closer revealed he will be teaching pitching in some capacity with the team this year. New York Yankees former pitchers Mike Mussina and Mariano Rivera put on jerseys at a press conference after being elected into the Hall of Fame. Danielle Parr-Hiskaren/NorthJersey.com via USA Today Network. Mike Mussina still can't get used to the fact he can call himself a Hall of Famer. On his 6th year on the ballot, Mussina received 76.7% of the Baseball Writers Association of America's vote, and will join Mariano Rivera, Edgar Martinez, and the late Roy Halladay in Cooperstown. But Messina has a question to answer: which cap will he don? When Mariano Rivera was elected to the Hall of Fame in unanimous fashion on Tuesday, pretty much everyone, including SNY, noted that he was the first ever unanimous selection. Specifically, it was noted that Rivera was the first player to ever be named on 100% of the ballots that were submitted. But was he really the first unanimous selection to the National Baseball Hall of Fame? Is there a chance another legendary Yankee was actually the first unanimous selection? August 13, 2016, Bronx, NY, USA. Former New York Yankees Derek Jeter leaves the field following a ceremony for the reunion of the 1996 World Series championship team prior to a game against the Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium. Mandatory credit: Adam Hunger, USA Today Sports. Adam Hunger, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Babe Ruth and many others couldn't do it, and so went the notion that no player would ever be enshrined in the National Baseball Hall of Fame while amassing 100% of the vote. That's until Mariano Rivera perfectly closed out his first appearance on the ballot. Mariano Rivera Hoff presser 0 hours 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Mariano Rivera speaks about his love for wearing pinstripes, Edgar Martinez always giving him trouble, and more at his Hoff press conference. On Tuesday night, Mariano Rivera was not only told he would enter the Baseball Hall of Fame this summer, but he was the first ever player to receive 100% of votes, so, as one would expect, Rivera was all smiles and laughs at the Hall of Fame press conference that involved Edgar Martinez and former teammate Mike Messina, as well as the family of the late Roy Halladay, who was also elected to the Hall. From his lowest points to his highest, Rivera reflected on how he eventually became the best closer in the game. And he also told Martinez that he owes him dinner for helping him get into the Hall, too. Best of Mike Messina. Hoff sound 0 hours 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Mike Messina was elected to the Hall of Fame. He talks everything from favorite moments to almost being perfect. To say Mike Messina was a little caught off guard about getting voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame would be an understatement. Messina was coaching his son's basketball team when he got the official call that he had made it, and that type of humor continued in his official press conference with the other inductees: Edgar Martinez, fellow Yankee Mariano Rivera, and the Roy Halladay family on hand. Moose reflected on his rise to the Hall of Fame, touching on the numerous almosts from his multiple no-hitters and World Series win. New York Yankees starting pitcher Sonny Gray delivers a pitch during the first inning of a baseball game against the Baltimore Orioles, Friday, June 1, 2018, in Baltimore. AP photo: Nick Waz's AP, "It's not you, it's me." The aftermath of the Sonny Gray and New York Yankees breakup revealed the right-hander has no explanation for what went wrong in New York. Whatever it was about the Bronx that made Gray pitch like a ghost of himself, rather than Oakland's all-star ground ball pitcher, served as a point of self-reflection for the 29-year-old. That's the question, isn't it? Gray told reporters during a conference call on Tuesday when asked what went wrong. "I'm not going to lie. I felt comfortable taking the mound. I felt good. It just didn't work out. I don't know. I don't have an answer." Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. The Yankees have a loaded outfield. Overloaded, in fact. New York's 25-man roster will consist of 5 outfielders, all of whom have been above average to elite players at varying points during their careers. 2 of those outfielders are Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner, both 35 years old and on the wrong side of their production curves. They are potentially blocking 24-year-old Clint Frazier, who some believe can become an above-average outfielder himself. The Yankees' plans for Frazier appear hazy from the outside at this point. Frazier has plenty of potential, and we have seen the electricity he can bring to the lineup. However, his 2018 season was wrought with the after-effects of a concussion that he simply could not shake. Frazier has been deemed healthy, and according to his social media remarks, he is ready to fight for the starting job in left field. New York Yankees right fielder Estevan Florial hits an RBI single during the 4th inning against the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. The Yankees have 2 players on the new Baseball Prospectus Top 101 Prospects list, and one they traded away in the deal for James Paxton also made the cut. RHP Jonathan Loaizaga, no. 64, and of Esteban Florial, no. 66, made it for the Yanks, while LHP Justice Sheffield, who was sent to Seattle for Paxton, came in at no. 50. As far as the rest of the AL East, the Blue Jays' Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was no. 1 on the list, with Toronto having 3 other representatives, including SS Bo Bichette, who came in at no. 12. The Rays, who have one of the best farm systems in baseball, had 6 players on the list, while the Orioles had 3 and the Red Sox had none. Former baseball player Alex Rodriguez sits in the stands before the start of a baseball game, Friday, June 23, 2017, in Miami. The Marlins announced the signings of their first 3 draft picks on Friday. 13 overall selection, Trevor Rogers, number 36 overall pick Brian Miller, and number 51 Joe Dunnan, a Miami native and Rodriguez's nephew. AP photo, Wilfred Oli, AP, 7-time Cy Young Award winner Roger Clemens and all-time home run leader Barry Bonds are making small steps in their pursuit of Hall of Fame nods. The athletes with tainted pet pasts began under the 40% mark of votes on their first try in 2014 and worked their way up to nearly 60% of votes in 2019. Clemens and Bonds have 3 more years of eligibility into the Hall of Fame. Garner 75% of the vote from the Baseball Writers Association of America, and Alex Rodriguez is jumping up and down, waving the pom-poms and cheering them on from the sidelines. Anthony McCarron, SNY.TV, Twitter. In prepping for Mariano Rivera's inevitable election to the Baseball Hall of Fame, I toured his pages on the indispensable Baseball Reference. To go there is to get lost in a rabbit hole of Rivera's pitching excellence. There's Rivera's absurd 205 career-era plus, which is the best of all time, and his 652 saves, the most ever. His ridiculous postseason numbers, 0.70 ERA, 0.759 WHIP, just 2 October homers in 141 high-pressure innings. Keep going, you might calculate the last digit of pi before you run out of fascinating Rivera numbers. Heck, he even adds a signature number now, becoming the first player to get 100% of the vote on the ballots of members of the Baseball Writers Association of America, this one included. New York Yankees relief pitcher Mariano Rivera waves to the fans after the game against the Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium. John Munson, the Star Ledger USA Today Sports. By becoming the first unanimous Hall of Fame selection in history on Tuesday night, legendary Yankees closer Mariano Rivera eclipsed some of the best players to ever play the game. Before Rivera reached the perfect voting percentage most deemed unattainable, the players with the 4 highest vote totals were: Messina deserves to be an HOF. 0 hours 1 minute and 1 second. Sweeney Moorty argues that Mike Messina deserved to be elected into the Hall of Fame. It's his overall career that make him great. Even Mike Messina did not think he would get in the Baseball Hall of Fame this year. The former Yankees pitcher had been trending slightly above the 75% threshold, but remained unfazed by it and did not plan anything special for the announcement on Tuesday night. In fact, he revealed on Tuesday that he was coaching his son's high school basketball team when he received the phone call at the end of his practice. American League. The American League defeated the National League 3-0. AP photo, Matt Slocum, AP, with legendary closer Mariano Rivera officially taking his place in Cooperstown among immortals in the Hall of Fame. Let's take a look back at his best Yankees moments. Click below to watch. October 9, 2017, Bronx, NY, USA, during Game 4 of the 2017 ALDS Playoff Baseball Series at Yankee Stadium. Mandatory credit. Adam Hunger. USA Today Sports. Adam Hunger. Mariano Rivera made history on Tuesday when he became the first unanimous selection into baseball's Hall of Fame. The historic news was surprising, but hardly a shock to any of those who have spent a significant time around the closer during his 19-year career with the Yankees. Immediately following the news, Derek Jeter published a blog post on his website, The Players Tribune, citing the only stat that he thought sums up Rivera's career. March 11, 2018, New York, USA. A general view of Yankee Stadium before the game between the New York City and the Los Angeles Galaxy. Mandatory credit. Vincent Carchietta. USA Today Sports. Vincent Carchietta, with Mike Mussina officially taking his place in Cooperstown among immortals in the Hall of Fame. Let's take a look back at his best Yankees moments. Click below to watch. Mariano Rivera pitched a scoreless ninth inning. AP, that Mariano Rivera would be a first-ballot Hall of Famer was fait accompli the second he announced his retirement. But in getting elected, he did something no one before him had done. He got 100% of the vote. The Yankees legend, with his name checked off on all ballots cast, was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, along with Roy Halladay, Edgar Martinez, and fellow Yankees teammate Mike Mussina. Due to Ryan Thibodeau's Hall of Fame ballot tracker, it had been known that Rivera's name had been checked off on all ballots that had been shared in public. What wasn't known was whether the ballots that were submitted but not in the tracker would have any that knocked Rivera off the 100% pace. They did not. Mariano Rivera is not the only Yankees pitcher that will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame this summer. Mike Mussina garnered 76.7% of the 75% of the votes necessary to join Rivera, Roy, Doc, Halladay and Edgar Martinez in the Hall of Fame class of 2019. Mussina, 50, pitched 8 seasons with the Yankees and 10 with the Baltimore Orioles. He was a 5-time All-Star and 7-time Gold Glove Award winner. Debating the Hall of Fame. 0 hours 1 minute and 5 seconds. Andy Martino and Mike Quicero debate whether the Baseball Hall of Fame is worth all the negativity when it comes time to vote. Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, with any luck, this will be the only Hall of Fame column I'll ever write, because my one opinion on the place is that it should not exist. That probably sounds unduly harsh, so let me back up and explain. This year marks my 10th in the Baseball Writers Association of America, which makes me eligible to vote for the first time. When Hall officials reached out late last year to see if I would be registering, it pained me to say no. What kid who grew up with baseball mania wouldn't want a say in who gets into Cooperstown? The building itself is a magical place, a must-visit for all fans that captures the power and romance of the game. Aaron Judge, 99, mandatory credit. Bob Vecchiara. USA Today Sports. Bob Vecchiara. The Yankees have had a relatively quiet offseason by their standards, so far resisting the urge to sign Manny Machado or Bryce Harper. Their biggest move to date has been a trade for Mariners ace James Paxton, and they've built their bullpen into a potential powerhouse. So, how many games should they expect to win in 2019? New York Yankees pitcher Mariano Rivera reacts after striking out Cleveland Indians' Mark DeRosa to end the game during a Major League Baseball game Friday, April 17, 2009 in New York. The Yankees won 6-5. AP photo, Julie Jacobson. AP, you may remember Bill Ballou, he's the Telegram. Well, he changed his mind about both of those things, Ballou said on Tuesday, the day Rivera is expected to receive 100% of the vote, that he submitted a Hall of Fame ballot and voted for Rivera. Sonny Gray out of the Bronx. 0 hours 0 minutes and 34 seconds. New York Yankees have shipped Sonny Gray to the Reds, a change of scene.